Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Section 214 of BC Lions podcast. I'm here with my friends JS and Hammer.
What's up?
Uh, I wish we would like. I wish we would have come to you at a with another win. With a sixth straight Lions win, but unfortunately that wasn't the case today because it was pretty depressing 25-24 loss that we'll get into to the Calgary Stampeders. But you might notice that well, I've been wearing hats through most of these videos, but I've decided to try and make it a tradition to not wear a hat for any kind of BC Lions loss that disappointed me. And before we started with recording, I was talking with my friends, that if BC gets a blowout loss, then all of us will take our hats off in protest. So
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
maybe. Might take a little bit for me to remove my hat. Maybe 2 straight
I
losses or something.
Yeah, there
Hope
you
that
go.
doesn't happen.
I just hope that never happens, right? And maybe if it's a blowout win, we're just gonna go just full Lions because I mean I'm still wearing orange, of course, but I mean the hats. I was disappointed with this loss. So
Yeah, I did
yeah,
notice when I joined the call, it's not a BC Lions shirt. So there had to be something
yeah,
up with that.
There you
yeah.
go.
It's an Under Armour shirt, like the pros kind of wearing. It's an X, right? I hate this loss. I'm Xing it out, right? Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I'll just
Mhm.
wear this for every loss, right?
Well,
Just still get the colors through, but I don't approve of this. So
next time we lose, I'll wear all black or something.
There you go.
funeral clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I mean be a short little intro. So I guess we'll just get into the gut check portion of this game. Unfortunately, from the prior results, I mean, especially with Saskatchewan beating Winnipeg, and with us losing now, I mean, that's giving Saskatchewan full full reign for first place in the West. So yeah, it's highly unfortunate considering the huge win last week. But I mean, I did think that because I did realize that because it the game was close to a bye week. I mean, I mean, BC was just getting a bad game out of the way just before the bye week. They just wanted to. They might have been banged up a lot, and it showed a lot in this game, right?
there's a couple of
Especially,
injuries.
Good
yeah,
chance to get healed with the whole week, off. They don't play again for another 10, 11 days, something like that. So a chance to have the week off. Now I would say it comes at a perfect time.
But honestly,
yeah,
a
and
loss comes at a good time because it's a wake-up call. And I don't think they've been playing at their best even when they've won games. They've been capable of a lot better. But if they won this game, I know they would have just scraped past them. But this is a wake-up call because they didn't deserve to win this game.
mhm.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement that I mean they have multiple chances to win this game, but they just based on that first half alone, I think they just didn't deserve to win this. Right? It was just
Nope.
uh
No.
yeah, it was yeah. I mean they were getting back to some bad habits from the Toronto game, right? But it was
Yeah, we'll get into that in the recap, but lots to complain about.
Yeah.
complaining about nothing of the refereeing either. Well, I mean there might be complaints for the Calgary side, but we'll get into
There were
that
some
too.
bad
But
calls that went our way. So even with the refereeing going our
yeah.
way, we still couldn't get it done.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this loss is gonna put us down to 5-2. I mean, I'm not worried yet. I mean, if this is one of their worst loss and they only lost by one, that's quite encouraging to
There we
me,
go.
to be honest.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan's at 5-1. We're 5-2. If Saskatchewan loses next week, that means the Lions will take over first in the West by virtue of the head-to-head meeting that the Lions won. So the Lions could still jump up a spot in the standings next week, even when they don't play.
They play the Owls.
Yeah, I guess, and
Saskatchewan
I guess
does, yeah.
The
in
Saskatchewan does.
baseball, yeah, I guess in baseball terminology, I guess we're down a game and a half to the Riders, or uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so to speak. I guess yeah. I mean, we still have the advantage on them if we can beat them again, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really a bad setback at a time when, you know, we need to really trying to assert ourselves in first place a little bit here, but yeah, it just
Things
wasn't meant to be.
was always one of those
So
winnable trap games. So
Yeah.
that's how it was.
I think, well, Calgary is definitely playing a little better than I thought they would, but I don't know if it's because because of the rivalry competition, but yeah, it was they. I mean, they went into a shootout that was an eventual loss with Winnipeg, right? But that was yeah, 38 points is nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, it's
Nope.
yeah, I guess well, we'll get past our gut check now, and we'll get into the stats that I have put in the doc, and yeah, and I said before the recording also that as you know, we were decompressing from the loss and everything, and as I was putting the stats in, the numbers do back up how poorly BC's offense played. And JS and Hammer, you can
I think we can
put it away.
breeze
looking
through
at
them.
them
There's
right now.
really much as they do. Want to do the offense?
I'll do the offense. Starting off with Vernon Adams Jr. 17 for 31 for 192 yards. And I think every game this season he's at 300, which this is obviously a down game for him, in him currently being the MOP frontrunner. He had 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, a couple of sacks.
Yikes.
He had a few 30-yard throws, but he overthrew a couple of them when he was throwing long. And I think the wind was a factor, but
You
it
got
just
it.
wasn't his day.
Bad.
Yeah.
And he
Wasn't
was
his
playing
day.
a little bit hurt too.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, he got some contact in like the chest area, so we're always worried when he gets hit.
Mhm.
Stand he played better than last week. I mean, last week when he got above 2 yards was a win. 9 carries for 64 yards at 7.1 average. So all things considered, he was all right. And 4 catches on 4 targets for 20 yards, 4 for 20.
420, nice. I can't believe I missed that.
And then Mackey with 3 carries for 11 yards. And I saw he was doing short yardage, which is good because we're protecting Adams there. Receivers, Hollins, he didn't get many targets compared to earlier in the year.
No.
He was their guy. 1 catch on 4 targets for 7 yards.
Oh boy.
Says speaks for
Yeah,
itself.
Calgary's defense is clearly keyed in on the receivers a bunch, and yeah, for Holland it showed. I mean, this is unusual. It's just
Yeah.
mhm.
Justin McInnes, the guy last week, I think Calgary got him under control. They knew he was Adams' guy. 3 catches on 8 targets for 55 yards, with 1 being 31, and 1 touchdown. Aiden Eberhard, he got more than 1 target today. He went 3
Finally,
for 5.
yeah, but
I think he's still got a lot of potential. He's been great. 45 yards with a 32-yard catch. And he did get 2 catches on 1 play for a first down. Berryhill, 3 catches for 39 yards with 1 touchdown. 1 in the corner where he made a good catch, and then ran a little bit for 16 yards. Poisson, is that how we pronounce his name?
Yeah.
2 catches for 14 yards.
croissant.
There we go. And then with the defense, there wasn't a lot. I mean, they played okay. Meh. There were 2 sacks and 1 turnover on downs for our secondary.
Goal line stand.
Yeah,
goal
that
line
was
stand too,
great,
yeah.
which we'll get into a little later. Haladic, Kent, and Tahuma had 5 tackles each. Tahuma had 2 sacks, and then Evans, Lacombo, Lee, and Rene had 4 tackles each. And then
Good to see Lee back. He played
on
well.
special teams, Sean White, perfect as usual. 3 for 3 for field
Yeah.
goals, including a 52-yarder, 2 for 2 on extra points. Flintoff with 4 punts, averaging 71 yards, not bad, including that bomb late in the game that went for a single point. And then Williams, he was a little better today. He had his longest return of 36 yards. And
Yeah,
but
2 no yards penalties there.
the no yards always help. Then there was a total 4 kickoff returns for averaging 24.3 yards and 4 punt returns averaging 15.6, longest 26. So overall, about the same for him, but he had 1 good return of 36 yards. And in that, at this point, we celebrate that. So yippee.
Yeah, just a little bit of an improvement. I mean, I saw that, you know, if there was one tackler that missed Williams, I think he would have sprinted for at least another 30-40 yards, and maybe even like a touchdown or kickoff, right? But
First time you
yeah,
could have said
just
that in a while. He was okay. That's all I can judge him as.
okay. I mean, you know, luring in no yards penalties is part of your job as a kick returner too. So uh, you, yeah, it's one of those weird quirks of the CFL game. I mean, I'm gonna get into another weird quirk of a CFL game too in the recap, but I'll go for the Calgary stats. I mean, Jake Mayo, he had a pretty good game in this one. He went 25 for 32 for 307 yards. So we kind of got like a taste of our own medicine, having
Yep.
a quarterback go for 300 plus
Yeah.
against us this
We
time.
made this guy look good.
We
Just
did.
one.
Yeah, 307, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 9.6 yards average per throw. So yeah, this is it's been a while since Mayo had a good game against BC, because usually, we keep him relatively low on the stat sheet, or just, especially if that playoff game last year where he just didn't get anything going, right? It was just a mercy kill at that point. But no, this time he got his revenge here. Um, so for the running backs, Dedrick Mills got 14 carries for 48 yards, 3.4 average on rushes, and his longest carry was 9 yards, and 3 catches on 4 targets for 33 yards and 11 average, and then his longest was 13. So yeah, Dedrick Mills had a little bit of a better game than Stanback. I thought both running backs did pretty okay, but yeah, just Mills is on the winning team, so he got more. He's gonna get more of the credit today, but
He will.
yeah, and for Calgary's receivers, Barnes, which was, yeah, he was held pretty decently on in the last game, but in this game he had some important catches, especially late in the game. He went 3 catches for 4 targets on with 63 yards, 1 touchdown, and 21 yards in average per catch. The longest was 40, but that was the one that was late in the fourth quarter. But yeah, Michelle, 4 catches and 4 targets for 46 yards and 25 yards on average per catch. So longest
Sheesh.
25. So yeah, even more examples of just Calgary just bringing us a taste of our own medicine, right? Just long averages per catch, right?
This was like the receivers we had earlier in the year.
Mhm.
Not to say we don't have them anymore. We just had a bad game, but that is a taste of our own medicine.
Yeah. Bagleton had a pretty productive game. He went to 7 catches on 9 targets for 52 yards and a touchdown. I didn't put the averages here. I forgot about it, but I'll just keep moving on. Philpott, who's supposed to, well, Jalen Philpott, the brother of the Philpott in Montreal, he went 6 catches for 8 targets for 27 yards and 13.2 average per catch.
Good
Longest is
bloodline for
23,
wide
so
receivers.
yeah. Starting with his robber, so for us. Yeah, and Tucker, he wasn't around in the last game, but in this game he had some important catches too. I mean, especially the longest at 24, but he went 2 for 3 for 34 yards, and yeah. Even the receivers with a low amount of catches had at least 20 plus yards. Right. Yeah, but the defense for Calgary played, much well, stats wise, much better than BC, because they got. Although they only got 1 sack, they had 2 interceptions. No fumbles, no turnovers on that. I think the interceptions were more impactful than the sacks and the over sacks, right? But yeah. In the secondary with Alway that had 6 tackles, and Voters had 3 tackles and an interception and a sack. So he had the whole gambit of
Yeah.
defensive positives, right? So he probably gets the defensive player of the game. Richardson had 2 tackles and an interception, and then everybody else got less than 4 tackles. Paredes on special teams didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. So he only got the 1 opportunity, got a one for one on a field goal, and 2 for 2 on extra point. So he didn't have to kick any real clutch field goals, right? So
No anti-magic today.
yeah, we gave his leg a rest today. So unlike Sean White, he just has a leg of gold. Just yeah, and then Grace for the punting, he had 9 punts, averaging 39.3 yards, which I thought, oh, that must be because of the well, the, the wind was probably affecting him, and also there was also a shanked punt for a penalty. But
Oh, that one almost
and
went in
then
the stands.
mhm. Yeah, that was just guy in the stands. Um, and interesting here, well, Brooks started out as the punt returner for Calgary before he got injured early in the game. He only went 2 returns for 24 yards, and Logan came in as a substitute, and he had a better game than Williams.
Oh,
4 kickoff returns for 108 yards, averaging 27, and 4 punt returns for 107, averaging 26.8. We just cannot.
who is
Uh,
this guy and why do we still have Terry Williams? Like
No.
I was very impressed with Logan today.
yeah, I mean, this especially hurts because I remember Stephen Logan as a kick returner back in when I was a teenager, uh, watching Lions games. Right, Stephen Logan was awesome
Mhm.
as a kick returner, and this is kind of just like the ghost of Logan haunting us from wherever he is. Right, just yeah. I mean,
So, so we're through the stats now. We rolled through all the points.
oh yeah,
Um,
there's still penalties. I
I
mean,
just
penalties
wanted
was up to a story.
the one thing to suggest before going to penalties. You remember how Calgary got 2 points today?
One of those was on a holding penalty,
Yeah,
It was on a safety.
which we'll get to later.
which yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, for the penalties, yeah, BC got 11 penalties for 70 yards worth, and then Calgary got 12 penalties for 180 yards. And the TSN commentary said that both teams were the least penalized teams in the league.
It
And
doesn't look like it today.
Wow.
and then of course you have the best offense in the league versus the worst defensive team in the league, and you end up in a 1 point deficit with an average score. Like
Yeah,
total typical CFL.
unexpected in every way. And I think that the time of possession, BC had 29 minutes, Calgary 31. So overall pretty even.
Yikes.
But the difference in penalty yardage, which we'll get to later, comes to Calgary was repeatedly penalized for long pass interference calls, which makes that yardage total ramp because pass interference penalty can be like 50 yards, which counts as 50 penalty yards, even though it's just one infraction. So the type of penalties Calgary took affect that amount a bit. So I guess we can move on to the recap now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
recap, and then I said that well, Hammer, you can talk about the first half. You can combine your notes with mine. I mean, I mean, you said you were surprised that I took extensive notes from the first half, which not a whole lot happened. Right, there was a bunch of 2-and-outs and happening, but
I'm gonna talk with my own notes. You can add stuff on if you want.
No, the rest of
Okay.
us will be asleep while you're talking. Just take a little break.
Yeah, that
Just-
serves it right. Yeah, how boring the first quarter was. I'll kick things off.
I'm glad I had the energy to watch this game. Right, I would have fallen asleep too.
Oh boy. Yeah. The first drive for each team in the offensively, the first 2 drives were nothing. 2 bad kick returns, 2-and-outs, 4 minutes wasted. The second offensive drive for each team, also terrible drives. Calgary got 1 first down. We got no first downs on either drive. 7 minutes, nothing happened. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to do a podcast if the whole game's this boring. Like, I was going to fall asleep. And on BC's third offensive drive, Stanback finally broke the deadlock. He rushed for a first down, and that was the first of 3 straight first downs. 2 of them were rushing. And after that, on second down, this was the first of those PI penalties we were talking about. VA passed deep downfield for about a 30-ish yard PI.
Yeah, no, I could count that as like a ghost second catch for Hollins for the PI, right? Just
True. That was a pretty clear
catching.
PI.
Oh yeah, that one was obvious.
Yeah,
That was the
that
least
was clear and
questionable
obvious. Yeah.
all of them. And then I think that the next play, VA threw a fastball to the corner, pretty risky pass to Berryhill for the touchdown.
Nearly got picked off.
Nearly got picked off. Yeah, risky pass, as the commentators were saying. He was being covered, almost being grabbed by behind, but he ran it in for a touchdown. And Sean White, Mr. Automatic, 7-0 BC.
And before that, I mean, even in the constant 2-and-outs, I mean, Adams was nearly intercepted a couple of times before and too. So that was kind of an omen of things to come.
It was.
But, yeah.
So on
Even on
Calgary's
a good thing.
was So on Calgary's third offensive drive of the game, they returned the kickoff to the 40, and BC Lions defensive back Ciante Evans got hurt. And you're going to remember that name for reasons. You'll find out. And after that was another 2-and-out. On BC's fourth offensive drive, Williams made a bad return, and then David Mackey was on short yardage. So it was good to see VA was not on short yardage. We don't want him getting hurt like that. First down, Stanback was back. He made a good run, and then that was nuked by a procedure penalty. On second down, VA went deep for no success, and that was the end of the quarter.
End of the fourth quarter.
Brutal.
We both had names for this fourth quarter. I was a little bit conservative with it. I just called it boring. You called it.
Yeah, one of my friends told me I got to name this episode 2-and-out because that's how
Yeah,
it felt.
we were gonna. Yeah, if the whole game was gonna be like that, I was gonna call this episode 2-and-out, but instead it's what you see down there. Right?
Yep.
So
enter the second quarter and enter Peyton Logan. He had a great run, rushing to around the 30-yard line off kickoff, and 2 plays later, just some throws for first downs. Reggie Beggleton with a receiving touchdown, and Paredes was good on the extra point, 7-7. So really quickly after the second quarter started, Calgary tied the game, and Covington got hurt on the play. I'm not sure if he came back. On BC's fifth offensive drive, 2-and-out. VA was sacked. Calgary, 2-and-out. On our sixth offensive drive, BC couldn't convert a 2nd and 34 after Perkins took 2 penalties for a 2-and-out.
this was the drive where there was this was the drive where we were just getting so frustrated with how many straight O-line penalties were being taken, right? Oh my goodness.
And Perkins, we were done with him. Like after a couple weeks ago, he had a pretty bad game, and now again 2 penalties on 1 drive. The next drive, 2-and-out for Calgary. Couldn't convert a 2nd and 25. And then Schluger got injured for BC on our next drive.
That was the guy I met at the on tap. So I hope he's all right.
Right. Yeah, I know you were pretty sad about that.
Yeah, I was a little devastated seeing him getting hurt. I'm like, oh no, not today. No.
We wish him all the best.
Yeah,
of course.
And then that was a 2-and-out. And then Calgary's next drive, I didn't say very much for this drive, but it was a very quick drive, and that was Phil Potts' touchdown. So we can dive into that a bit. It was a throw to the corner of the end zone, which TJ Lee was covering him really well. It was good to see him back in the game.
Oh, and that was the one they initially ruled incomplete, right?
Yeah, they thought he was out of bounds at first, but
yeah,
just a tiny bit in bounds.
Just a little tiny bit of green you can see, like on the different replay angles.
Yeah.
You can see the green a little bit there, and I just immediately just typed the description. It was
touchdown, because we knew it was going to be a touchdown, and it was.
Yeah.
And
it was good for Phil Pot. He was wearing white shoes, so he made that the replay a bit easier.
There you go.
And then finally, a good drive from BC after ages. VA was throwing with confidence. 2 huge throws to Eberhardt and McInnes. Both were like 30-ish yard throws. And this is when we were talking.
Meme catch for Eberhardt.
The meme catch, yeah. We're talking about Aiden Eberhardt because he always has that one big catch and it disappears for the rest of the game.
Yep.
It was signs of promise.
A good drive too, though.
Yeah, signs of promise. We were like, oh, even if we only get 3 points, this is good. This is momentum going forward. And it was only 3 points. We fizzled out in the end zone. Sean White converted for 40 straight. 10-14, near the end of the quarter. Another 2-and-out for Calgary. BC got the ball back, and Eberhardt had 2 straight catches for first down. He was 3 for 3 on the day. We were rolling. The clock was ticking down. It was within a minute left, and then Calgary intercepted it.
That was frustrating.
That was frustrating.
Oh, man, yeah.
Things were looking good at the end of the half, but then all fell apart right there.
Instant momentum killer there, and that was
the board. And then we challenged for PI, but I knew that the challenge would fail. The ball looked uncatchable. There wasn't much of a tug. It seemed like a Hail Mary challenge, which in the second quarter made no sense. So we lost the timeout and the challenge.
He threw right into double coverage.
So. Yep.
Yeah, I also felt like that was kind of a death weighting challenge, just to keep the momentum going for the team, just to get some points out of it. But yeah, it was a little foolish there, Rick.
Yep.
Lost the timeout. So halftime, 10-14. We're down at halftime.
Okay.
I don't remember the last time we were losing at halftime.
I think it was Toronto week
Yeah.
one or yeah. Well, yeah, we had that quick start, and then I think it was ever actually. I know you know you can scroll up to see what the halftime was. I'll just talk yeah, scroll up to see what the Toronto game was like, but I'll just talk about
I'll
at
look through it while you
halftime. I
talk.
mean, yeah, at halftime I was you know, I was eating dinner this was a good time for me to eat dinner, but I also posted just screen caps of the halftime stats. And at the time, at halftime, Vernon Adams went 11 for 21 for 136 yards and one touchdown and one interception, and averaged 6.5 in as long as the 32. So yeah, that was a very unusual Vernon Adams like game for us. I mean, from what we've seen from him so far in his time with us here at from the middle of last season and now, right? It was
Yeah, we were
uh
not used to that.
no, it was very much punch in the mouth for us. Um, then yeah, I also posted halftime stats though to like screen cap on the CFL website, but yeah, and then of course at halftime, I mean, I had my TV muted while I was watching. But I had my TV muted while I was eating dinner. But I do know that Wally Buono was being honored as a builder for the Stampeders. He was honored in like a nameplate revealing that kind of celebration, right? And
Good for him.
yeah,
That was nice to see.
Legend of the league.
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, I was blessed to basically be able to watch his entire the entire time he coached with the Lions. It was from 2004. I mean, up until I want to say 20, yeah, 2011 was his, and then I think he came back for a few years in the late 2010s, and then yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
ceded it over to just a carousel of coaches until we got to Rick Campbell.
Before you kick off the third quarter recap, we have not been down at halftime this season until today.
There you
There
go.
we go. Okay, yeah,
For them.
So
so yeah, that's the first time we've been down at half, and hopefully, I mean, it's probably not going to be the last time. I mean, but if it's not the last time, then hopefully, I mean, you know, even if we're down at the half, I mean, we can still come back and win.
we did
And
that.
yeah, I'm going to get into the many opportunities. We did have the opportunity to win this game in the second half. So in the third quarter, Calgary was receiving the ball here. Logan took it to the 42.
Annoying.
And then yeah, very annoying. This of course their backup kick returner is better than our starter, but it seems to be common. Yeah, yeah. So Tucker catches a wide open crossing route to the BC 38 on second down, and then Mayo gets sacked on 1st and 5 by Tahama for an 11-yard loss, and then fails to convert from that, obviously, because it's kind of hard to do that. Although, yeah, yeah, so basically forced Calgary's hand to kick Paredes' only field goal to extend a lead to 17-10. Then on BC's drive, you know, Mackey gets some yardage for a first down, and then Adams and Mackey combines for running for a first down, and then Stanback ran for 13. And you know, the offense was starting to get a little bit rolling here.
Stand back,
I
so
mean,
back.
We're so back. Yeah. Well, for the moment though, yeah. So it felt like we were back because Billy Hill had a tough catch on 2nd and 6 to make it to get it to go, and then McInnes catches the ball and he just breaks the plane over the goal line just to
That
tie
was
the
a great
game at
play to
17.
extend like that and
Yeah.
get across just before his knee hit down. Great play.
Close, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
McWinnis.
again McWinnis. Yeah, McWinnis was good for this one, right? Just yeah, and then for Calgary's ensuing drive, I mean, it was understandable, but I was a little bit frustrated here because Wally Buono was getting the the interview chair for the TSN commentary, right? And you know, the whole drive. Well, I mean, in general, the whole drive was going along, but yeah, it was just, you know, I didn't get. I mean, I had to kind of guess what kind of context there was for penalty flags. Like there were some holding calls for Calgary that I didn't hear was announced, but I have to guess, right? But yeah, the whole time they were just talking with Wally Bueno. I mean, can I understand why they did it, but they could have just stopped a little bit just for the referee penalty calls, right? But
Yeah, we're doing game coverage here.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, I've watched the game long enough to kind of tell which penalties are which, but yeah, it was a little frustrating for someone who likes taking notes in games right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
It is.
commentators do provide good insight. So I mean, I remember that in the first quarter. So
It's true.
yeah, color commentary usually does that job very well, right? But well, yeah, Glenn Suter was my favorite, and then I guess Matt Dunnigan would be the second. He's like a bar buddy.
I love Glenn Suter.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, during that whole drive, I mean, yeah, Calgary did march down the field. Um, well, march down the field. I mean, yeah, there was a 2-and-out that was prevented by a penalty, but Calgary kept marching down the field up until the 1-yard line, and it was 3rd and 1, and one Mayo threw to Michelle. He caught it, but it was just outstretching it to try and break the plane, but yeah, just
Stuffed
didn't
him.
Great stop.
stuffed them on a goal line stand, and
That was really close.
yeah,
I
that was
remember they reviewed it during the commercial break between the third and fourth quarters, and they upheld the call. He was short, so we got a huge
yeah,
stop there. I was for sure we were going to
yeah,
drop points.
and here we were thinking in the middle of the third and fourth quarter, because that was the last play of the quarter. That was a very impactful turnover, but here we were thinking, okay, we got the ball now, we got to drive it down, and then immediately the first play of the game from the fourth quarter is something that I have never seen in my life. I swear. BC flew for a first down, but unfortunately, because apparently there's a rule where if you get called by holding,
In
if
the
you
end
get a
zone.
holding penalty called while you're at the 1-yard line or in the end zone, then it's an automatic safety.
Yeah, it's
And that's what
it's a
Calgary
weird
got.
rule. I think if you take a holding penalty or an intentional grounding or like an illegal hands to the face, just a limited number of penalties while you have the ball in your own end zone, aka while the ball is in goal, then by rule it's a safety. So like the holding call was the right call, and by rule it's automatically a safety. Both the NFL and CFL have it. I've seen it in the NFL once or twice, but never in the CFL. That was the first time.
Never,
But it was the
no.
correct call, unfortunately, for the Lions.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing like intentional grounding, usually resulting in a safety, but never a holding, right? Or
Our O-line
yeah, it
literally
was
costing us points.
yeah, costing us points. Yeah,
And we
the O-line
lost
just
by 2 points.
yeah,
Lost by
we
one
lost by
The
point.
what?
difference
No,
in
we
that,
lost by
yeah.
1 point. Like that would have
Well,
been
the 2
a
points was
game
the
changer
difference.
right
There
there.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And even worse, then we
Yeah,
had the kickoff from our own 20, which Calgary returned it to their own 46 as a result of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I mean, fortunately, I mean, it was a 2-and-out for Calgary here too. I mean, starting from this point in the game, it felt like both teams just didn't want to win the game. But I know, especially well, yeah, Calgary went 2-and-out, and then Williams gets a no yards call, which I put a trademark symbol in there because I think that's that's
That's
going
the
to be
only time
his
he
good
makes any
play.
decent yardage is when he gets a no
Yeah.
yards call.
Yeah,
Great little running
no,
joke we have.
yeah, the no yards gets BC to the 50. So yeah, positive play just by doing nothing, not really doing much. Yeah, McInnes gets passed in a field whiff on 2nd and 6 on a deep shot to the 17. And and then here we thought, okay, they could go for a touchdown here, but yeah, there wasn't just like in the third quarter, I mean, it was just it wasn't able to convert for a touchdown, and Adams overthrows Poissant on the 2nd down, so it just forced Sean White to kick a 22-yard field goal, take a 2019 lead.
Which that's good. We had led at that point. Be nice if we could win when you lead in the fourth quarter, but didn't happen here.
Yeah, and then here for Calgary's ensuing drive, much like their last touchdown drive, they came fast, right? There was bad tackling on Michelle to the 45 on the first play of the drive. and then Barnes gets a lot like he got a lot of support from the receivers blocking the safeties and the secondary, right, to create holes for him to run through.
Like 40
right?
yards after the catch on that one.
Yeah, a lot of blocking help on that one, but yeah, that was that made me mad.
Oh
Just,
yeah, that was brutal.
uh, I mean, I was mad because of how good that blocking scheme was for the receivers. Like they came at the right time, and yeah, it brought Barnes to the 5, and then and then immediately after them, Barnes also catches the short TD pass to retake the lead 25-20. And they tried a 2-point convert in this one too, but that was incomplete. So that kept it at a within reasonable striking distance still. Because if they had gotten the 2-point convert, then we would have needed a touchdown and an extra point to tie it. But
touchdown would win the game outright. And then I guess I'll talk about this one quickly after Williams returned the kickoff to the 36. There was another DPI call on McInnes that advanced BC to the Calgary 47, but I thought it was a terrible call because to me it looked pretty clear that McInnes was not touched by the defender. He slipped on his own. But unfortunately, the camera angles were very
we're
wide.
so wide, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't really conclusive to show what I assumed. Like chances are if they had not called it PI on the field and BC had challenged, that call would also have stood. Most
Yeah,
likely, just we got saved by crappy camera angles on that one.
but bad camera placement, and also just the CFL command center's inability to enhance.
Yeah,
Of course.
And just come on, take some pointers from MacGyver. You got to enhance, right?
gotta blow that video up, and they would have, if they had better video, that call probably gets reversed. Let's be honest.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we were saved by bad camera placement. Yeah. I mean, but despite that fortunate challenge being lost,
Couldn't take
it was
advantage of
still
it, really.
didn't take advantage of it. Yeah, Aberhart was incomplete on second down. I mean, it was almost a touchdown, Kath. I mean, it was the ball. I mean, Adams threw the ball as best as he could, right? I mean, it was a catchable ball, but Aberhart just was too slow. I think it was just a little too
Wind.
easy going on the
Yeah.
route, right? But yeah, that could have been a touchdown catch there, but wasn't meant to be. And then but
Could have been the wind,
but
but it's
here,
not his day.
yeah, but here, I mean, White continues his field goal streak with a crazy 52-yard field goal. I think it was, it might have been with the wind, if I remember correctly. It was on the side of the field where the wind it helped the ball, but yeah, it was still like an unpredictable kind of way for the ball to either swerve left or right. But yeah, White just nailed that 52-yarder right down the middle to bring us within 2. And then and then on Calgary's ensuing drive from the 40, Tahama sacked Mayo on first down. But then sacked him on first down, and then Calgary went 2 and out here. Williams then takes the
Always remember these missed opportunities because Calgary's offense was not rolling in any way in the fourth quarter.
No,
they were constantly giving us opportunities to either take the lead or just
outright win.
8 points for them that quarter, and one was a safety, and then there was a missed 2-point convert. So
one touchdown and a safety essentially.
yeah,
But it was, what was it,
Yeah.
25-23, and then Calgary went 2 and out, and then Williams had a really good return. When is that?
somehow.
But right
I called it a well good one. Like
You did.
this was one of
Remember,
those.
yeah.
This was one of those kickoff. Well, this was one of those punt returns for him that I thought he could have broken for at least another 30 or 40 here, right? But just the
not
one
going to
tackler was
complain.
able to
He
get
did
him.
okay on that one. But then the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing that happened, McInnes made a 15-yard catch, and then the next play, Adams gets picked off right at the 3-minute warning. That's how I reacted to hands in my face.
That's when we thought it was over.
But it
Yeah.
was almost more heartbreaking because Calgary punted almost immediately after that. And then on second, we got to about, I think it was midfield-ish. And then Flintoff, after an incompletion, Flintoff made this bomb of a kick that went right through the end zone, right to the end line, which made it 25-24, which I was worried about because I would have rather than pinned Calgary deep there because the field position. After the single point, you come all the way out to the 40.
Yeah, I think the bounce had a really big factor to that, Rouge.
It did, yeah, but you got to try and get it so it'll bounce back
Yeah,
into the field of play and not into the end zone in that one. But either way, you made it 25-24.
24.
And
So yeah,
then-
Rouge could have tied it even on the next drive as well.
Who wants to explain the
yeah.
catastrophe that happened after that? Once we got to when Calgary got the ball back on first down, they lateraled it, trying some sort of, I guess I don't know what the term is, like a run play.
Flea
But they lost
flicker, a
8.
little bit of a flea flicker, yeah.
Flea flicker, exactly. And they
Fun
lost
move.
8. And it was 2nd 18, and definitely the Lions got the ball back. Definitely they did, right?
sure they did.
Sure they did. No, they did not.
No.
Inexcusable.
2nd and 18.
Yeah,
And this
Barnes
reminded
made the
me,
catch and
yeah,
just
and
got
this
past
reminded
the
me
stick.
of just, yeah, this reminded me of like when Green Bay, well, in the NFL, the Packers were playing the Eagles. This reminded me of 4th and 25. Like it was
Oh,
a duo.
Oh,
It was a.
I remember that.
I mean,
yeah.
I cheer for both teams, but I mean, that's pretty much what this reminded me of. Where it was a very, very doable thing for the defense to stop them here, but no.
And not only that, it was extra cool because he just got past the sticks. It wasn't like, oh, they made a 50-yard play. He just got past the sticks. And at that point, we all thought, oh, it's over, right? But then what happened
But there was a glimmer of hope.
for a split second before our hearts got ripped in two again?
it was in
Fuck.
1 second.
Bill Pott took the catch, and the
catch, and then he
ball was
just
punched out.
No,
And like,
no,
there's the
I,
Giants'
no, I think he
chance.
just straight up just lost the ball, right?
Just was high in the air. The defender got his paws on it, but couldn't hold it in. And I thought, oh, you got to try and knock it out of bounds. And he wasn't able to do
yeah,
that.
I was just
Calgary
excitedly jumping in my chair, going, get it. Oh no, wait.
And Calgary got on it. It was 2nd down, and the next play, or after that fumble, it was still 2nd down. And they converted the 1st down, and they were able to kneel after that point. And that was
Yeah.
Remember that guy I mentioned earlier? The guy who got injured but came back, Deontay Evans. He was the guy who well, fumbled the fumble and lost the game for us.
Chances are if he gets that and goes down, chances are the Lions at least go to overtime because they, with the strong wind at their back, they could punt for a Rouge or kick the game-winning field goal. But that was an unfortunate way to lose, and
that felt like the football gods were on Calgary's side in that 4th quarter. It was
especially on that last play.
especially on that fumble.
I want to correct myself. He didn't lose the game for us, but we lost the game for us.
Yeah, no,
because overall, I don't think we deserve to win it.
No, the positive I'll take from this though is, even when they clearly didn't deserve to win, they lost by 1 point.
Yeah,
by 1 point. Yeah, it wasn't a blowout. I mean, Mayo threw for 300+ yards here, but I mean, yeah, there could have.
Despite everything,
There was a lot of 2 and outs for Calgary as well, especially in this 4th quarter. That the defense did well enough to keep the game going for the offense, but it's just we just couldn't take advantage of the opportunities that presented to us, and yeah, it was just a highly disappointing game that just if things had gone right, I mean, we could have eked out the win, but I think even if BC had eked out a win, I mean, I would have still been disappointed with this game.
Yeah,
right?
5-2 after 7 games isn't bad. I guess we should move on to talking a little bit about the other games really quickly. I didn't watch a lot of them. Well, I will say about Edmonton and Ottawa, the one thing that I remember from this game, both teams are not that good. Edmonton on the final play of the game at their own 35 down a touchdown, they call a draw play, a run play.
What are you doing? The ghost of Chris Jones lives
what
on.
on earth they were thinking, and that sums up their entire season.
Yeah,
Not even
mean,
Chris
I mean,
Jones.
It was funny how it was both. I mean, Jarius Jackson was the coach, is the interim coach, and G.Y. Simon is one of the interim GM. Both are BC Lions legends. I would consider G.Y. Simon more of a legend than Jarius Jackson, but yeah, it was even with the power of our players, our former players, they still couldn't be able to win that. Just yeah, and then the Tiger Cats did finally get their first win of the season against the Argonauts, and I told the group chat here that the Argonauts are like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They seem to be playing below. Well, when they're punching above their weight, I mean, they're playing great, right? They beat BC, they beat Montreal, and they looked pretty good in both those games, right? But then, you get games like this where they lose. I mean, they almost came back in this game, but yeah, Hamilton hung on to win. I mean, it was 27-10 at one point in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Yeah, and then the Bombers and Riders for the other half of the Friday doubleheader, that was a boring game as well.
Yeah.
It was
A
even
little bit
more
less
boring
scoring than
than
us.
yeah, just the Bombers offense just could not get going. I mean, and because of that, I am terrified that they're going to destroy us. And the time when we come back after the bye week, yeah, they'll no
be
doubt. I
bad.
mean, but I mean, I say I'm terrified of it, but I mean, maybe this might be more of a telling sign that maybe the Bombers shouldn't be nearly as few this year as they were in years past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we'll also talk about. We'll announce here that for next week. I mean, it's going to be a bye week. However, I think we're going to do a bonus episode to watch the Riders and Alouettes on Thursday night.
Mhm.
And yeah, for that game, we're planning on just doing like an abridged version of the game. There's no stats, there's no gut check. We saved that for the Lions games.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna do the game recap for the first half of that bonus episode, and then the other half will be I'll be spinning a wheel with some
That'll be
discussion
fun.
points. I mean, yeah, some discussion points. I mean, just some relevant topics like Canucks related stuff, or the CFL stuff. Like, what's your favorite BC Lions game of all time, or just worst loss
Some fun stuff.
opinion about the referees.
If you have some suggestions for us, you can definitely send them into our social media channels.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that too. But I do have quite a bit to for us to go on. But yeah, we'll watch the Riders and Alouettes game, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge game. But I get the feeling the Alouettes are going to win, not
I
only
hope
because
they
I'm
do.
sure.
If they do,
Not
we move
only
back
because
into
we're
first in the West, so I need them to win.
Yeah, and I think they're the
Yeah.
better team.
I
they
agree.
sh- yeah,
Alouettes.
yeah, we'll see what happens there, and then of course, yeah, Calgary fresh off of their win against us, they go over to Ottawa, and there's this one Stampeders fan in the Senator's Discord that's loving my misery, right? Just there's a
Fun.
Stampeders fan somehow that's loving my misery, and then he gets to like gloat, like if Calgary beats Ottawa, he's gonna gloat over like the rest of the Sens squad who are Red Blacks fans, right? So, oh, he's gonna get it. Oh man, he's. Uh, I do hope Ottawa wins that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but pro Ottawa.
Yeah, and then
Ooh,
yeah, the
little Grey
Bombers
Cup
play
rematch.
that's well, yeah, the 2016 great. Well, man, all the players are gone from those 2016 teams, right? But
There we go.
yeah, so
But so is the next
Yep.
one. Riders or what? It was Bombers and Argos.
That was the 2022 game, which was a great game that Toronto ended up winning on a blocked field goal at the end. I would think
made me
Winnipeg will be
gross
really
for rooting for
motivated.
Toronto.
Yeah, but we'll be rooting for Toronto. And then the last game of the week, I don't think too many people care about it. 1-5 Hamilton, 0-6 Edmonton.
Oh,
Toilet bowl of
Oh,
the
it's yeah, that's our first official tank bowl of the CFL.
yeah, we'll all be
The kind of
trying to
stuff that
check.
you
I
and
don't
the
think
tree does, right?
the viewership will be low. The attendance in Edmonton will be lower.
Can we get an Elks home win? A rare Elks home win?
That'd be nice.
Would be fun.
Just the few fans that show up. I mean, they've had enough pain for one for tons of seasons, right? But
Gotta
yeah, and
feel
then of
bad for
course,
whoever's left.
yeah, and then of course for week 9, I mean, we'll be back. We'll be back on August the 2nd. Well, for Lions content, we'll be back on August the 2nd because August the 1st is the Thursday game for us against the Bombers. We'll still be on the road for that one. So
We'll be
yeah,
watching
and
that
we
one.
won't be back at home until we won't be back home until the 18th. So yeah, it's a long road trip.
It is.
I
We'll
guess
be home for a while with a bye week, so
true. So is that it? We have anything else to add, or should I do our socials?
I think we're pretty much finished here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I talked about what we're planning to do for next week. So yeah,
Then
let's
yeah, we'll
wrap it up.
You can hit us up on email at sectiontwoforteen@gmail.com. On Instagram at Twitter we are at Section 214 Pod, and on YouTube we are at Section 214 BC Lions Podcast.
Okay, well, that's yeah, that'll do it for us today. I mean, it's we keep trying to just cut our episode length down bit by bit, and we're doing pretty good so far. So
We'll keep
yeah,
working
I
at
mean,
it.
yeah, and of course, this is the close loss, so you're getting 50, at least 50 or 52 minutes. But yeah, blowout loss will probably be even less than that. Like, I
Yeah.
might even be stuck taking notes by the time it's like 30 points
Yeah.
for the other
There you
team.
go.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I hope that day never
okay,
comes. Bye, people.
yeah, all right,
See ya.
have a good one. See you next week. No, see you Thursday.